Hi guys, I'm doing quite a personal video today, a sort of heart-to-heart. If you can hear my computer in the background, just ignore it. It's noisy as hell. Basically, I'm going to do a video today about scars and what they mean to people and what mine mean to me. You can get scars in many ways, a burn, a cut. Sometimes you have to kind of be the type of person that picks a scab to make it be a scar, and sometimes it's just deep, or it's just so badly hurt that it won't heal normally again, so it will be a scar. I have many scars. They range from scars on my neck, there, a big one on my elbow. Is it that one? Yeah, it is that one. And obvious, the ones on my wrists. I'm going to talk a bit about how I got these scars and how I've kind of learned to love them through learning to love myself for who I am, and I want you to try to look at your scars in the same kind of way and learn to love yourself in that way. I'm going to start first of all with the ones on my neck. I don't know if you can really see them. Basically I've got 3 lines on my neck, which I've had as far back as I can remember, and the only explanation for them is that when I was at nursery I had an accident, and there was a blind with like a rope thing hanging from it, and you pull it and it opens the blind or it closes the blind. Basically I was about 3 and I put it around my neck, just mucking about. Obviously I thought it was going to like hold my weight or something, and I would be like, you know when you see people bungee jump and they're on a rope, and I obviously thought that was going to happen, or whatever the reason was. So I put that around my neck and jumped into a ball pit, and it strangled me and it cut into my neck, and yeah, so I've got those, and I used to really hate them and be self-conscious about them. I used to put foundation on them, and now I've kind of learnt that I learnt from that mistake, and I was so young that I've had them for 14 years now, so I've got used to them. They make me who I am. Not many people notice them because they are so light, because they were obviously deep, that's why they've scarred, and they've just been quite light. Yeah, so I've got used to those. The next one I'm going to point out is I've got a scar along my head, there. I don't know if you can see it. Which I had a rabbit and I was holding it, it jumped and scratched my head, and for ages I had like a big scab on my head, and I was really self-conscious about it, and I just hated it, and ended up healing, and it just became a scar. But rabbits have quite thick nails, claws I think, so when it did cut me, it cut me quite deep, so it just turned into a scar. And if I put foundation on it, it just makes it worse. You can kind of notice that it's like an indent. So, yeah. Sorry, ill. With this one, I really hated it for years. I've had it for about 5 years now, maybe longer. And I hated it, and just, didn't know how to cover it up because it was an indent. So most of my other scars are like out, whereas this one's an in one. So, yeah. But I stopped noticing it so much. I had braces for a while, and so when you saw a photo of me, the first thing you would see was my braces instead of this scar. And so it kind of took the attention away from it, and when I got my braces off, I'd kind of forgotten all about it, and it doesn't bug me so much now. It wasn't really a traumatic cut, so I'm not that bothered by it. But yeah, I can see how that would bother some people because it is right on my head and it's quite an obvious place. Next I'm going to, you probably can't see them, I got one there and a couple more here, and they're from chicken pox, and also have some on my stomach from that. I got that when I was very young, and I obviously scratched them and they're scarred. They did really annoy me at first because they are on my face, and when you're a young teen, you're kind of more self-conscious about that type of thing, and you look at it a lot more and you try to cover it up. And I think with the braces thing, it took my attention off it a bit. And also for quite a few years I didn't even know they were there. And then when I was about 15, I think, I noticed them, and I asked my mum what they were, and she explained, and I was really self-conscious about it, but I've got used to them now. It's not as if they were from a horrific accident or something. It's just a little mark. You wouldn't even notice it unless I pointed it out, so yeah. Next, I'm going to talk about this big one on my elbow. I fell off my bike when I was about 8, and I fell onto gravel, and I had a massive grave, and there was like gravel in it, like all in it, and yeah, that was quite traumatic, 'cause it was really scary because it was bleeding a lot, and you can imagine it's quite a big cut, so it did like bleed down my arm, and it was just horrible. I had that scab for ages, and it just wouldn't heal, and when it did, it's a massive scar. So that's really, it's probably my second most self-conscious one, and if anyone asks about it, I explain, and it's fine, but I think that's one of the ones I get the most looks at because it's quite big. Again, I've learned that if you just explain to someone what it is, they kind of understand what most people do, and I've really learned to like it because it makes me who I am, and without them I wouldn't have this cool story. I have hundreds of scars. There's many on here. I've got many there, but the last ones I'm going to talk about are the ones on my wrist. As you can see, I've got a big one there, a few there, some there. These are all kind of faded, so I don't think you can see those. They're obviously from self-harm, and I hated them for ages, and at the time when I did them, I hated myself, and I just despised everything about myself. And now, looking back at them, because they were quite deep, that's why this one's hasn't even turned white or anything, it's still red, as if it's still healing. Now that I look back on them, I can see, I appreciate where I am now compared to then, and I'm just grateful for the people who got me through that. I'm not going to cry. I probably get the most looks at that one, and so I wear that bracelet that I usually have on to cover them up because these are the most noticeable ones. Yeah, and I've learnt to love them in a way because when I look at them now, I see what I was like, and I appreciate who I've become, and I'm grateful that I got through that stage, and I'm gonna cry. And yeah, so when I was in that stage of doing it, I didn't think my life was gonna go anywhere. I didn't think I would even live to be 17 or 18 or anything. I thought that was it for me. I thought my life was over, and now that they've healed, I kind of feel like I have healed a bit, and now whenever I see them, I'm very grateful that I got through it, and that could have been so much worse. A friend of mine convinced me not to cut my neck, and the problem with when I was cutting myself is I couldn't tell how deep I was doing it. I also have quite sensory problems, so I can't figure out how deep things are and things like that. So I could have easily killed myself in doing that, and she convinced me not to do it, so in a way she saved my life. Yeah, and that's really it for scars. Didn't realise it was going to be that deep. I hope I haven't just put a complete downer on your day. But I just wanted to say for anyone out there who hates scars or they're self-conscious about them, or even not scars, just marks or anything, that one day you will learn to love them, and they will mean a lot to you. And if they are from a traumatic experience like some of mine are, in a few years you'll appreciate that you got through it, and you'll appreciate the people who helped you get through it. Like, the people who helped me was my mum and my boyfriend and my friends, especially Inez, and I probably wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for them. So I'm so grateful for them, and I try to show them how grateful I am that they helped me. If this is too deep to talk about things like this, just comment below and stay, and I won't discuss it again. Basically, if there's anyone out there who's in the same sort of situation as I was and you want some help or advice, don't hesitate to inbox me. Really, I wouldn't say I would love to help you, but I'm here to help, and I want to make a difference to you. I mean that. If there's anyone in that type of situation that needs help, and I don't think there's anyone, there's always someone. So that's my main scars, and like the saddest video I've ever done. I hope that wasn't too depressing. Yeah, I'm not sure how to end this, so bye.